before AI became mainstream. Even chatbot as a word, as a term, the term itself was not coined at that time. It was that's when I've been seeing it for the last 8 years. Uh, every year has been like super exciting for me as a person because it's completely different because every year it was different when from age of traditional machine learning to deep learning to now large language models, now speech models and video models coming up, etc. AI has been ever evolving and faster than ever. Nothing else is moving as fast as AI over the last few years. I'm super excited and super stoked to see what else is going to come up in the next few years.
Ramesh, what are your takes onto this?
Very similar, right? So AI has been around, technically speaking, right? And every time there is one inflection point that happens in this world. So whatever has happened in the last couple of years, right, with Chat GPT and everything else, is probably the inflection point for AI, is what I believe. And it is what I guess everybody keeps talking about, a digital twin, and AI actually becomes our digital twin. When you're developing software, when you're doing anything, interacting with any kind of businesses or services that are going to be available, right? And yes, I guess the next 2-3 years are going to be really interesting, especially from an innovation perspective. Uh, People are going to start figuring out how to deploy AI that can actually enhance business, enhance the way we interact with each other, enhance the way we interact with businesses and whatever services that we want. So I believe that's where we are, and it's going to be a great landscape for anybody who's in the tech industry, because AI is going to supremely enhance our outcomes and our outputs. So looking forward to the next 4 or 5 years.
I would actually, add to what Ramesh said. It's a adoption cycle. There's this hype cycle and adoption cycle that every technology goes through. I think we just are seeing the hype cycle, but there's yet more. The adoption cycle is yet to start because mainstream adoption it's just started. I think there's a lot more to come.
Correct.
Sanjeev, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. So initially I thought transformative, but that is stolen by Amit. So then the second, the innovation, right? So it's more from the innovation to transformative. I tell you why. Because it is actually disturbing the entire life cycle of how we used to develop the software, right? And that require, now we need to think how the new way of developing, new way of doing the work at the workplace, at the enterprise level, right? So that require the innovation piece, but that innovation may lead to only the POC level or the proof of concept level, right? And to make it more enterprise level production ready solution, that require the transformative way. So from innovation to transformative, I think that is where the engine is going on. And people who are not yet actually started this innovation, I would I would suggest that they start using innovation and say, so that their mindset and thinking can be changed or transformed. And once you are into that position, yes, this is feasible, this is possible, and then move to the transformative channel so that you can start building business wise or purposeful innovation to transform into production ready solutions. That's my submission to that one.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, all of you. I think we've touched base the entire transcending of artificial intelligence in today's world, as well as what is coming in the coming time. Let's talk about the concept and how it has actually changed the market and what else is coming up for the entire developer community. I would like to start with you, Amit. Let's try and give us an understanding of how has the concept and the adoption of artificial intelligence changed over the years. Because if we go back and if we look at the time till today, I think there has been tremendous change, and it has been happening almost every day. So if you could just give us a contrast of how things have changed over the years and from the level of adoption and the concept, it will be great.
Yeah, thanks, Kriti. So, if you think from this into different eras, like 1950s to 1980s, and then 1990s to 2020, and from 2020 to onwards for now. So, if you see 1950s to 80s, it was more like rule-based programming. Like the focus was on symbolic AI. And people like Alan Turing or John McCarthy, they were somebody who were the flag bearer of the AI at that time. And the intention was to mimic human reasoning through predefined rules and logic, as I discussed. From 1990 to 2020, it was more shifted towards machine learning and data-driven technology rather than relying on hard-coded logics and so on. And that also included some of the very traditional, very powerful machine learning algorithms like SVMs and others. This year also we have seen evolution around deep learning, but that was limited. Now, after 2020, what we are seeing that the deep learning is in boom. The GPU systems are available now. Investment is available. You have ecosystem created in a way, and you are working on problems like image, working on problems like speech recognition or speech synthesis related. You have problems with respect to videos, like people are trying to address video specific problem with respect to deep learning algorithm and so on. But what I feel that if I have to describe this part overall, so I can do this, with a perspective of developers, researchers, domain expert, government, business, investors, and venture capitalists. So if I just try to divide this into this area, so if you see the developer part, so initially the developer used to write code from their own. Now, if you see, they have started using AI to write their code, sometimes fixing the bugs and so on. This is for specific software engineering or the regular developer. Even from the AI developer perspective, initially people used to write hard code machine learning algorithm. They have to write the logics or write the algorithms on their own initially. Even when I started, I had to write a lot of algorithms on my own. Right now you have library available with you. So with the library availability, the productivity is now improved. You have to just focus on innovating some things or maybe integrating some sort of AI components in the system. You have accessibility to cloud-based AI services and so on. So this is how we are moving into the developer side part, code part, as I already discussed to you. Now in the research side as well, it was more like theoretical research and mathematical side of it. Now we are seeing that those results are getting converted into the prototypes and then so on top of that. Uh, Also from the domain expert perspective, I think probably before 5 years or maybe 3 years, who would have imagined that an HR people or an admin people or somebody from content creation or content creator can use AI system to create their contents or chat with some sort of system to gain information like chatbots and so on. Like if I'm an HR, I can also use chatbot. I can just pass information and get some relevant information from that. uh, in a domain, if you see, the people are now using AI, healthcare, financial domain, and everywhere, because we have minimized interaction with the algorithm. Like when I say interaction of the algorithm, we have now a middleware in front of us, maybe an interface or something, and this is providing a very easy access to such complex algorithm, and these are running in backend for sure by default. So even if I have to analyze an image, I will just upload an image, let's say, to any of the foundational model or large language model or wherever, and then it's going to provide us information on top of it. So I do not need to be a machine learning developer to use AI tool these days. And this has become, very relevant after Chat GPT came into existence. Like Chat GPT is nothing but a, beautiful interface, and then in backend, some complex algorithm is running. Just think from that perspective. Now, from the general perspective, anybody who is not from a particular domain as well, or not from the technology background as well, they have also started realizing about AI. Probably think about maybe 2 years back, hardly anybody in village or remote place or somebody who is not from the technology background, they would have understood what is AI, what is the power of AI. Now, after the Chat GPT or the large language model, and even government is talking about it, companies are talking about it. In every TV ad, probably you are seeing that they are selling their product as an AI powered product and so on. So people have started realizing about that something is there called AI, and that has immense potential to transform the technology, to improve customer service, customer delight, improve product, and so on. So people have started realizing about it. even a small vendor and somebody, as I said, those who are not from the technology background or even from the domain background as well, they do know about Chat GPT, right? And such kind of tools and product. So this is also trying to basically help our general public, and they are much aware about it. If they are aware about it, it means that there is a larger responsibility on the government side as well as on the company to make those tools or technology very responsible, and in a more customer focused way, and also try to address multiple challenges that it basically has from the AI side, keeping the diversity of our country or probably across the globe. So that's one part. And then government is also have started realizing about AI. Government is thinking about data protection law. I think we have seen, so not exactly related to AI in India, but this is something going close to that. We are seeing AI policies making across the world. People are talking about AI policies, regulations, and even we are seeing that government wants to deliver their services through chatbots, like we have heard about Bhashini and others, right? So multilingual capabilities and so on. So this is, for example, if government is focusing on multilingual capabilities, it is trying to basically integrate this diverse country, if I am talking from the India perspective, and that's the power of AI. They also want to basically communicate government services through chatbots or maybe through AI services. There are a lot of examples, if you see, even from the government perspective as well, like they are focusing on that. Government has, opened now 3 COEs for AI. They're investing into the AI labs, as I said, the COEs part, and so on. So government is really focusing about it. Even in last year, when I was at GPA Summit, it's a global partnership on AI summit last year. Prime Minister was talking about how AI can be used for benefits of our people. He was also talking about some of the the wrong use of AI, like defects and others, and the ethical part of it. So government is really focusing on it, and it basically shows that they are really worried about, and they are also interested about, and acknowledge the innovation or the transformation that AI can bring. Business side, I think it's very straightforward. Initially, we were struggling with talents. Right now, I don't think so. There is a talent issue for sure, but now industry or the business have understood about the potential. They are investing into the talent as well. It's not only about talent, they are also investing in the infrastructure part, whether it is cloud infrastructure or the physical infrastructure, or creating their specific guidelines for their organization, like how they want to deliver secure and safe AI solution to their customer as well. It is also about, it's not only about IT. Let's say for the media industry or entertainment industry, uh, now AI being used to basically create movies as well, right? AI is also now basically used to have personalized ads. So let's say if somebody is a celebrity, then using his or her voice, there could be a campaign, ad campaigns as well. Similarly, using deepfakes in a good way, you can also basically enhance your reach to every corner of the world, and very personalized reach to keeping their ethnicity and their diversity in mind as well. So that's also basically helping us. And now investor and venture capitalists, as I discussed. Uh, so we are seeing a lot of startups growing, and how this is basically becoming reality because investors are putting their amount into, or money into this AI concept or AI startup. And this shows that the interest, or the the transition from a mindset that people were thinking that no, the AI is not a right thing for their business for now, to putting their amount into startup is something really interesting. And if you see India, there are a lot of AI startups, and those startups are doing really great work. So I would say this is how it is basically progressing. And I would also add, I think I've already discussed about the code part, like how people are using AI to fix bugs, fix writing codes, and so on. And interestingly, I think I missed to add this part as well. This is being supported by educational institute as well. Now you have more AI certifications available, even post class 10 as well. You have continuing education in AI as well, like diploma certifications. you have AI degree, like bachelor degree from like you have bachelor degrees as well, apart from master that used to happen in past, but in limitation. PhD was already there, but masters and bachelor, institute have already started introducing the AI courses, and from last 1 or 2 years, we are seeing that AI course has been integrated into engineering, as a bachelor, like bachelor course as well. So this is how we are seeing the transition. And then I can talk about, I can go on and on, like in every sector, you are seeing that how AI is basically making transition. But I will just stop for now, and then we'll wait for all of you to basically continue the discussion part.
So, what I get from your perspective here, Amit, is that there is more usage, there is more awareness, and there is more, of course, adoption to, AI when we talk of not just India, but globally. And we're trying to implement and do the right thing, pick up the right usage, adoption in almost all the frames of life that we actually, foray into every day.
So
Now,
let me just, sorry to interrupt. Let me just add one more point. I think this would be interesting to understand. Many companies across the world have started introducing their AI ethics and governance office. So I think that's a very interesting take. Like it's not only about that government is focusing on the ethics part and creating regulations and policy. Although organizations have their internal guidelines, but they have now started creating their ethics office or governance office, like how they want to deploy secure AI, to the system. That's important. And what I feel that probably next 3 to 5 years, you will see that almost every company will be AI powered company. We used to say in past, like every company would be software based company, no matter which domain or which core sector it's coming, it could be a software company. But what I feel that in 3 to 5 years you will see that AI, like all company, or maybe most of the company is going to utilize AI in a way or other. So it could be a AI powered company somehow, or some company would be purely AI based company as well. This is how I see the AI moving. Yeah.
all right, thanks, Amit, for that. I would now like to move to Jayachandran. See, since Amit already spoke of the transcending and how the entire world has changed over the years with AI, you help us understand that what does the current job market look like in the AI, and how can developers specifically be more AI job ready? Because I think there was a time when people were very apprehensive about the kind of roles or the takeover that AI would do in the market, right? But since it has changed a little, we are now focusing onto people with AI expertise profile to fulfill the business needs precisely. So, how does the market look like for them? And if you could advise anything that can make them more AI job ready, Jatendra?
Definitely. So I think let's look at it from a macro perspective. Okay, that is very important when we actually look at such transformative technologies like AI. So if you look at like any research which has been kind of come out in the market, be it from the, let's say, World Economic Forum or IMF or McKinsey's of the world, what has been kind of depicted is that at least 60% or 40 to 60% of everybody's job can actually get impacted because of AI. When I say impacted, it's like both on the positive side as well as like there could be some pitfalls as well in the same thing. Okay. And this number has been kind of arrived at based on, let's say, around 900 plus occupations people have actually analyzed. And they looked at like each and every task an individual does in that particular occupation. And they have identified, okay, these are like set of tasks which are like automatable, okay, using AI technologies. So 900 plus occupations, and they have identified task by task, and they say that, okay, 40 to 60% is like the kind of opportunity for automation. The reason why they actually come up with like such kind of an insight is that if you look at like whatever we do on a daily basis, a lot of stuff is around language. Okay, we use a lot of language for communication, for creation of, let's say, some deliverables and all those kind of stuff. Many things are revolving around language. And since with the advent of this large language model, what we are seeing is like that is a part which was not done properly before the advantage of this or advent of this large language model. Okay, so because of that, we are seeing like there is a lot of potential when it comes to automation using this whole generative AI technology. That's a very interesting observation. Now let's come to the industries. I mean, you take it, let's say banking or insurance or consumer packaged goods, telecom, technology, anywhere. Another observation is it has been found there are like at least 40 to 50% which can be automated in banking and financial services itself. Okay, that's a very, very high number when it comes to automation. Similarly, like maybe other industries may not be as high as banking and financial services, but they are still in the range of, let's say, 30 to 40% kind of range. I mean, highly automatable, maybe augmented, like, I mean, you may not fully automate, but augment that particular task like that. And some of them cannot be automated at all. So it's like very unlikely that we would be able to automate every task of every individual in a job. So it's like all about augmentation, okay, using AI, so that it's like how can you actually get more done using the same person. So that's the kind of approach we will kind of take. So the way to actually look at is like the job market. Now let's say we are talking about, let's say 40 to 50% automation is possible in each of these industry verticals. Who is going to automate all these things, right? We need people, we need like technologists, we need AI engineers, we need machine learning engineers, we need deep learning engineers, we need data analysts, we need data scientists, we need prompt engineers, which is like the latest kind of role which has kind of arrived in the market in the last 1.5 years. We need people who actually are able to review the output of what the AI actually produces, right? So there has to be reviewers, testers, those kind of roles are also emerging, and responsible AI scientists as well. They are also actually required, right? And apart from that, there is a new role emerging, which is also kind of it's kind of a AI specialist integrators, okay? Because there has to be somebody who actually is able to understand both the world, the human world as well as like the AI world, and connect these two things. And they have knowledge about both the worlds. That's how actually you would be able to incorporate these technologies into the business world. Otherwise, what we'll see is like people are working on technology, when they actually bringing it to the real world, it actually fails because they don't understand the human element of how actually automation can be enabled for these people and how to kind of make it like success. So you need to look at from a very, very user and human centric point of view to make this technology kind of work for everyone. So that's a very, very interesting thing to look at. So these interventions are going to create more jobs when it comes to all these roles. I spoke about data analysts, data scientists, AI engineers, ML ops, LLM ops. All these roles actually will be required in the coming future. And some of the predictions, they say that these roles could grow at, let's say, 30 to 40% CAGR. Okay, annually we are going to see that kind of increase in this kind of role. So that's one part of it. Like these are the people who actually will produce those software to do the automation. Now there is like, it's not like just the AI models will you just create models, it will start working. It is actually part of a larger ecosystem. Okay, there has to be a user experience design person, there has to be a front end developer, back end developer, there has to be a database person. So it's like an ecosystem actually has to come together to deliver something meaningful for the industry or the client or whomsoever it is, right? So that means like every role which are actually part of this development program also has an opportunity to include AI. Okay, for example, I mean, most of the team would have actually worked on things like GitHub Copilot, or they're actually including models like Cloud Sonnet 3.5 or the CodeStrel or any of these models which are actually helping in code generation. So you take a software code developer or a tester or a DevOps engineer or a UX person, everybody has an opportunity to kind of incorporate the AI tools in their stream of work. That means like they can actually do more with AI. So it's all about like how they can actually augment their capabilities with these AI tools. So there is enough and more opportunities. The biggest challenge today is like finding those uh, people who are actually really skilled in all these technologies in a very highly matured way. I mean, you can be superficially knowing these things, but really do you know how to apply these things to deliver results? That's where the shortage is there. Though there may be a large number of people who would have kind of touched the surface when it comes to these technologies, but when the rubber meets the road, right, that's when actually you really need people who can really build things and scale it up for production.
All right, I think the next one is very pertinent to where Jayachandra has just concluded about how important it is to just deep dive and understand what is exactly required. Jaikishore, I would want to move to you for this. You being the CTO and the co-founder of Yellow.ai and AI specific, organization here. I think next up is something that we would want to know from the skills perspective, right? What are the top 5 developer skills, that is, to survive in the AI market at this point in time? Because as Jayachandran, clearly mentioned about the requirements, I think skills are the only thing that are going to compensate those requirements. So if you could just, help us highlight those things. You're not audible, Jay.
Hey, before I answer that question, talk more about the skills. I would want to continue on Jayachandran's previous topic on the job market. On a lighter note, I'm doing a bit of selling here. Yellow AI engineer or Yellow AI specialist is another important role that is going to emerge very strongly in most of the enterprise companies. So be prepared with that as well. Uh, uh, um, uh, and yeah, let me dive deeper into some of the important skills that we have been seeing, which are really important for developers, especially. Um, I think everybody. I think if I talk about ChatGPT now, I think it's already too late. It's already 1.5 year. People have started using ChatGPT like left, right, and center in every use case possible, and it's also helped. I think large scale adoption of you know how to use it. As I think as Amit mentioned, it's no more a skill, right? It's just even common. Every end user is using it right now. It's not even a skill, but that's a bare minimum thing that everybody has to use. Today I was actually looking at, somebody gifted me a plant. I didn't know how to water it, how to maintain it. I just took a picture of it, sent it on ChatGPT, asked it how to maintain this. It gave me the name. If it is that useful, we should start use. I mean, everybody's already started using from resumes to product documentation. I think I think that's something that bare minimum that everybody should do for sure. I think I think Amit also talked about how code generation, right? That's bare minimum again. Um, I assume that already, if in yellow, all 30 to 40% of the code is already being written. It's a generated code because as you keep typing, you can use AI in multiple different innovative ways to just write your code. Right? It's pretty amazing. If I've seen it in action and I've used it in most in the recent times. It's pretty amazing. You don't have to. Your speed and productivity increases like multiple fold. It's not in a stage where it can do all of it by itself. It's not in a state nowhere near. But it improves the productivity of every developer out there by multiple fold. That we have seen it like concept. You just have to conceptualize and then start coding. It's as simple as that. We use GitHub Copilot. There are others also like AWS Code Whisperer, etc. There are like multiple vendors out there who can do this. Use one of them and then get started. That's the most important thing that every developer should start using. I think rest of the things, I think I just wanted to talk a little bit more into understanding of different models. I mean, this is a little bit more technical, like, what exactly are these models? Everybody knows ChatGPT, but as a developer, that's not good enough, right? What is GPT-4? What is GPT-4o? Again, to start off with, right? I think, but then you still have to dig deeper into a lot of open source models that are out there from Llama, what is Llama 2, what is Llama 3.5, what are their capabilities, and a lot more open source models are there like Mistral, etc. So I think the awareness of the models and then what are their capabilities, etc. It's an important skill to also get into. I think it's for every developer. It's not like a new job role as well, but it's better to have every developer have an understanding of what exactly is happening out there, right? Because as Amit said before, that earlier people used to do a lot of write a lot of algorithms, and then understanding of deep learning is it's a skill in itself, but it's not anymore for, you don't need all of that in the LLM world, right? A lot of people are able to get away with just prompting, right? You just prompt it, and prompting also is becoming easier and easier. Every model that is coming out, actually prompting has become very easy. That means that this is understanding of these models is a critical skill that every developer has to get into. Uh, some of the more niche, some more critical skills for specifically AI jobs is that fine tuning these open source models is a uh, necessary one to get into. And as we talked about languages, like most of these um, fundamental models like OpenAI, etc., even llamas, they're all focused on English predominantly. Their tokens are all English. In fact, Llama 3 from Facebook, it's the Llama, it removed some of the vocabulary from Llama 2, language vocabulary, and focused heavily on English. So that means that there's a lot of opportunity for developers to understand how pre-training works, how to do continual pre-training and fine-tuning, and get some of these models out there for setting it up for multilingual capabilities for across the globe. I think a lot of enterprises would want that. And why it is important for AI to acquire the skill set is for enterprise use cases. Creative chat GPT is not good enough. GPT-4 is not good enough because it's not deterministic. It has a lot of hallucinations. You can't use it in a production setting. You need to understand different ways to get generative AI out there for enterprise use cases. So this is a really important skill. Um, there's I would really want to touch upon the development pipeline. So if you remember the software development life cycle, you have multiple layers, right? From UI layer, you have middlewares, and you'll write security layer. You'll write multiple layers, and database layers, etc. But adding a generative AI or LLM as a layer in the software development lifecycle, as a part of the product itself, is an important component. I think that's going to come up. And again, using it in most, and just an example, I think if there are developers out there in the audience, you'll be able to relate to it. So recently, we wanted to actually do some web parsing. Some websites we just wanted to crawl and then parse it. If you have to parse, we're looking for a specific kind of parser, but rather than writing all that, what we did is we used LLM as a part of the pipeline itself, not for code generation. We started using it as a pipeline, goes through LLM, and then the LLM parses it itself. So that's an interesting one too. Just an example, but people can use it in different ways as a part of their development pipeline. And understanding of whole of this retrieval augmented generation, how you can use information, and how do you extract information from enterprise documents, etc. That this is another important one. Last but not the least is LLM security. That is also really important in the age of fundamental models are like super huge. They are trained on large amount of text, but it's pretty easy to get carried away, and then add when you're prompting, especially, you might give out important information in the prompting, and it might not be ideal. The LLM security is an important one because it's easy to what do you call this, something called prompt injection that can happen if you release it out to end users, etc. So LLM security is an important domain that will emerge, and then that's an important skill to get into as well. I think, yeah, there's a lot more. I think we might uncover as we get into this adoption cycle. But for now, I think these are I would conclude with the above topics.
Thank you so much, Jay. I think you've laid out the foundation of these skills that are required in the market very well. So we know that in the market, as you mentioned, the skills are also required across verticals, across technologies, and across businesses. Now, Ramesh, I would like to come to you, you being the cloud expert here, and we all know that AI has been playing a very important role in the cloud industry altogether. You help us understand that how can developers actually leverage the entire synergy of AI and cloud integration, and any new development that our developer community should be aware of in 2024 or in the coming years, and they just need to be prepared for it.
Okay, so let's put this in perspective, right? So we heard of all the tools, the skills, the roles that are upcoming, right? So if you just roll back a bit, right, there was Agile, and then DevOps happened, and then there was specifically DevOps engineers who could manage your pipelines, the entire CI/CD and other bits. While that happened, cloud came in. Cloud started doing things faster for us, especially from the provisioning side. Go-to-market became faster, right? So what has currently happened is that DevOps skill is necessary for every engineer. Let me put it that way, right? There is, yes, you will still have DevOps specialists, but predominantly what has happened in the software development world is that DevOps is a necessary and inherent skill. And that's how it is kind of moving also in the AI world, right? So yes, today I am faceless, right? Actually, and that's exactly how AI is going to be faceless for most of the developer world and for most of the people who are actually going to consume AI. One way to put it, right, is I drive a car. I know how to use the car, right? How to use the gears, how to steer it. I might not know whether there's a internal combustion or ICE engine there or a 6V engine. I understand what it is, but I don't need to be able to build it. That's exactly how AI will be. There'll be a power of AI, and there are going to be AI engineers and LLM modeling specialists who will actually work on enhancing learnings on these models as they mature, as they become bigger. But as a developer, all of us need to be able to leverage what. So for same thing, right? AI ML, if you look at it that way, which before the Gen AI world, you suddenly this whole spot for data scientists to be able to figure out insights from a whole bunch of data. And then cloud came in, and each of these hyperscalers started providing you an AI workbench, right? You just throw data there. It will kind of try and do all the different modeling on it and try and start doing inferences. So what essentially you did was you moved the power of churning all of the data onto the cloud. And that's exactly what cloud is trying to do. And for developers, what they need to be able to get into a mindset of not getting intimidated with all the jargon that comes our way, but essentially the fact that the way in which things will get done will change. Correct? So we need to kind of move from a developer mindset to an engineer mindset. When I say developer, I mean developers are typically people who know syntax. So they know a particular language and they're very good at doing that language. For example, if you take front end, then somebody knows Angular very, very well, or a React JS very well. Engineer is somebody who understands JavaScript, right? Understands front end, understands engineering of code. So any new languages, syntaxes that come in the world, these people are able to pick that up quickly. And that's exactly what cloud is also, of course, enabled for AI. AI is going to be like, what should I say? It's like the exoskeleton, right? We've seen it in movies like Avatar. The exoskeleton actually allows you to do much more than what you can potentially do. And that's exactly what AI is going to be in terms of development. Yes, in the cloud world, yes, the hardware guys are slightly ahead today. Sorry, in the AI world, the hardware guys are ahead. The product, every other product we heard is trying to infuse AI into their products. The software services guys are struggling a bit, right? Very frankly, if you see the financial numbers, yes, software services guys are struggling a bit because the need for use case, the easiest use cases to kind of start implementing most of these AIs wherever earlier traditionally used to do automation. So lots of business processes are getting automated, chatbots are getting better, interaction with technology is actually becoming smoother and easier. So as you see the coming years, right, that's exactly what's going to happen. So you've seen GPT came in, and then Google came with Gemini, and then there's Bedrock and other things that are coming in, which is allowing people to start. Cloud, of course, is enabling all of this to come to the fingertips of people. So what is essentially happening, especially in the developer community, is that probably you could say that the experience world has kind of got flattened. It doesn't matter whether you have like 20 years of experience in Java. AI is flattened that, right? So any new developer who's coming into the world should actually get more and more excited. And I guess Kishore mentioned it, Jayachandran mentioned it. So actually, the number of jobs are actually going to increase. The roles are exploding. All people would need to do is be ready with these new skills. And one potential visualization that people are actually trying to do is developers, right, or engineers are probably not going to be using their traditional IDEs like Visual Studio or Eclipses or whatever. You're probably going to generate code using a bot, a digital assistant, a digital bot, whatever it is, right? And there are already examples of this in the world today, where you're actually going to, let's call it, for lack of any better words today, let's call it prompt, right? You prompt something and it will generate that piece of functionality that actually gets integrated with something else bigger. But one thing to keep in mind is that only people who understand the fundamentals will be able to leverage. Even if you take Copilot today, only the expert coders are able to leverage upwards of 50% productivity from Copilot. People who are average developers who are not actually given attention to coding struggle a bit, right? Their outputs from a productivity perspective is anywhere between 20 to 30%. So if you're looking at new development that will that we can expect is that each of these folks will start figuring out better use cases for developers to be able to start using either products or just even if it is bespoke development, right? Using these products, using these tools, and using AI in general enabled pieces to actually be able to do much. Let me call it the standard word that all our customers want to see is faster, better, cheaper, and that's definitely going to happen, right? This whole AI and cloud is actually, I would say, it is in that next inflection or exploding point. So the only advice to every developer is understand a little bit of the trend. The trends are going to happen, right? There was cloud, now there is AI. Okay, things are going to be changing, but you need to be still be able to handle this new car that you're going to be supposed to be handling, right? Combustion engines are going away, EVs are coming. EVs are now struggling because hybrids are trying to make the business case does not work. That's exactly what is going to happen to AI with cloud. We are going to struggle a bit. Use cases might come, use cases might get dropped, but finally at the end of the day, it's in the next, all of us are saying, right, next 2-3 years is when people will start figuring out what are the best use cases to actually start deploying. People will start getting comfortable with using AI. I think that's the biggest hindrance, because enterprises probably have to, or let's call it, right, part with their soul a bit. Everybody's worried about putting their data out to that model for it to learn, and then worried about how is my data not going to get used by anybody else, right? It will take a little bit of time for enterprises to get comfortable, but once that's happened, exactly like cloud, that's why I said trends. Earlier, folks were uncomfortable putting things in the cloud. Oh, my data in-prem, how can I put it there? Then once that inflection happened, then everybody started moving lock, stock, and barrel onto the cloud. That's exactly what is going to happen with cloud and AI. Now, enterprises will get a bit more comfortable. They will also start seeing the power of AI. Plus, most importantly, the fact that what AI will do for technologies, make it available to be applied in use cases where we thought that technology could never get applied, right? And that's also going to add to this whole, let me call it at the moment, rush for skills, rush for better skills, and rush for newer skills, right? So that's what I would also advise the entire development community in general to be ready with. New things that we are going to come, both from the product world and both from first native development.
Thanks, Ramesh. Now, I think I would move to one of the decision-making, persons in the organization that Sanjeev is for when it comes to taking the technological call, the adoption, and the implementation, the execution. No matter what it comes into picture. As Ramesh, mentioned, Sanjeev, about the exploding opportunities that the AI will actually open up in the market, it is very important for the developer community to understand what is coming on the table for them when it comes to the career advancement, right? Just developing the right skill sets or knowing the market trends is not enough. right? Being prepared for what is coming and then getting ready for it, and then probably opting out the right learning skill sets, learning, unlearning and relearning probably whatever is available in the market is something that one should look at. So you help us, highlight what scopes of career advancement is AI bringing to the table for the developer community.
Perfect. So first of all, I would like to appreciate the great viewpoints that everyone shared, and I think Ramesh has touched upon very fundamental issues, right? The every developer has to know many things together, right? And so I would try to simplify it, because yesterday I was thinking what should be the simplest way to think for a developer, which career advancement area they choose, right? And I put it as a bro. BRO. Bro means build, refine, and operate. So right now, traditional way of thinking is that we have developers, front-end developers, back-end developers, a traditional software development, right? So if you see the complete SDLC, we have different roles like the business requirement, development, design, and operate or test, for example, right? So people who are good at the front-end development or a back-end development, they can think the career as a consumer of the GenAI frameworks, libraries, to build the applications, because we need such developers to build those applications as well, because they understand the requirement and they can consume these. They are the consumer, they are the primary consumer of these frameworks. Let's say a lot of frameworks, I think Jay also touched upon that, right? Llama Index, and we have several frameworks all together, right? So that is one category of that. These are called the AI app developer, or those kind of. So that is one category of it, which is called build. The second is a refine, because right now there's so much advancement has happened in the AI space. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, you don't need to build those models from the scratch, and we need the people who actually take that as an open source, refine it, fine tune it, and that require a different mindset. Let's say data scientist or data engineers, for example, right? Thinking of the different algorithms, for example. So that is the second category of refine, which those who are good in the algorithmic kind of thing, or data science skills, for example, like the AI/ML skills, deep learning, NLP, and all the stuff. They can choose a career to refine the model, because fine tuning is something which is coming out very rapidly. And I can tell you, surely that if you are a person who can fine tune the model based on the enterprise knowledge, you will be earning a lot of good amount of money, right? So that is the second area of it. Now the third piece is the operate, because the way, like, and that's what I said, why Ramesh has put up a very critical point, is the DevOps, right? DevOps should be for everyone, because we need to operate, we need to make sure that things are working smoothly, there's a resiliency, there's a observability, all the stuff together, right? So then the way we deploy our solution, it requires a different mindset. Let's say for example, the build pipeline, for the pipeline from the ML models, for example, or the MLOps, for example, right? So you need to upgrade ourselves. So it's not about you need to completely switch the what you are doing. You simply need to evaluate yourself, what is your passion, what your area of your skills today, and then start leveraging generative AI or AI in your respective area, because we have technology for everyone, or AI for everyone, and so there's no. And one more thing, actually, in the middle one, the which actually I think Jay mentioned from the yellow. He mentioned that the security, for example, right now, hacker GPT, for example. There's so many GPT types are there, right? So you can think of how I can reduce the hallucination. I can make my system more protective, more secure, for example, right? How can I think of building small language models? So right now, everybody's talking about the large language models and everything, right? But from the how I can make very specific purposeful LLM, so that it is solving one problem, because we don't need to maintain the elephant, we are good with the small puppy as well, right? That is how we need to think and start building. So fundamentally, think of it, bro. And whether you are good in the software development, traditional software development, think of build AI application using the existing frameworks. So you need to be aware of these frameworks. That's the only thing you need to upgrade. If you are good in data science, AI/ML, and that kind of stuff, think of it how you can refine the model, train the model, be specialist into the GPT area or the kind of thing. And the third is operate. If you are in the operation side, support side, then you can start again. You are the consumer, but again you are into build pipeline and all the stuff. So I think it's this I think is the simplest way to think about it. The bro view or the bro framework, I would say. That is how everyone should evaluate themselves and start picking the area they are interested into. And each layer or each pillar has a different level of different titles, different roles that you can pick for and go for it.
I think I could not have asked for a better conclusion to our conversation from where we started to how developers can actually foray in their careers in the coming time with AI being everywhere, almost everywhere, right from our phones to our laptops to our business to our jobs. I mean, it's a crazy time that we are into, and when it comes to I think today even the kids in the school are being trained for the AI models and how it can be used and everything. So I'm sure we are trying to touch base the core right from the very beginning to have the right fundamentals built. As Sanjeev, you said, we need to do that bro analysis and then prepare for what's coming. I'm glad that when we have conversations like this, with the kind of highlights and the expertise that you bring to the table, people are able to have a better understanding of what's coming for them and how they can be well prepared. I would like to take some questions now since we have 5 minutes. Let's just quickly see if we have any relevant questions that I can take from the audience right now. Okay, a lot of career-related questions, here that I have. I have a question from Saket. He says, I'm a Java software engineer and React.js. I heard that AI will replace software engineers. So is it compulsory to move my career to the AI field, Python, etc.?
So
Okay,
I can take. Do you want me
yes,
to take it?
please.
So
Yes, please.
first of all, there's a statement called "Dar ke aage jeet hai." You know that, right? So we have to. If it is a fear, then it's good because your growth zone is always come through the fear zone, right? So if you are fearing, that means you are doing good job. First of all, you should congratulate yourself, right? Now the second thing is that the bro I mentioned, right, the bro one, right? You need to decide whether you are a good data scientist, whether you have the analytical mindset. If you then you may switch your career to, let's say, data scientist, something like that. If not, even within Java or the React based framework, you can think of what are the frameworks are available in the market which I can consume. You don't need to write, by the way. So you just consume and start building those applications. So you will become the user of those frameworks and start building some relevant applications. So I don't think so you should be worried about. The only thing you should be doing is that upgrading yourself, because this is your kind of insurance policy. You have to renew your this is a kind of insurance. So you need to renew yourself, and which is good for everyone, not for just to you, even for us also as well. Like 25 years experience in the industry, we are still learning, because otherwise it is very difficult for us to sustain in the IT market.
I just want to add on to what Sanjeev mentioned.
Yes, Anand. Please go
So
ahead. Yeah.
it's like, I mean, for example, the audience asked this question, right? I mean, will it replace? I would put it as like, for example, if you're a Java programmer or a Python programmer or it's a React programmer, tomorrow you would be kind of a Java pair programmer or a Python pair programmer, okay? Because you're going to use an AI to do things much faster than you're actually doing today. So if you kind of continue to remain as a Java programmer and not become like somebody who actually uses AI in the regular stream of work, right? Then only you have a threat. But if you're actually able to adopt these new technologies as fast as possible, then there is no threat to any of them. That's the way I would put it.
Oh, perfectly put.
So,
Yeah,
Shakriti, let me
actually,
just,
I was. Yes. Go ahead.
yeah. So I have worked on national program on AI skilling framework, and that is still in draft phase. And we have created AI course curriculum from class 6 to the higher standards as well. With that, we have also mapped specific job roles and the new job roles as well. So I have that visibility like on very large scale that we are not going to cut down jobs. We will see some new jobs coming out. And for that, you must have to learn how to use AI tools. You do not have to, unlearn your previous skill. You have to have that skill but you also have to learn your, current whatever is current going on, like AI tools, how to integrate AI tools within your work, how to use, a low code, no code platform, how to use APIs that is available on the cloud system and so on. So that's how it is going to be, and the jobs are almost for everybody. Because that visibility I have, I'm telling you, it's for the domain people as well, like how domain expert can use AI and grow their career into that field, for IT sector, for any other sector. So I don't think there is a trade, but yeah, definitely you need to understand how to use current tools. For an example, 10 years back, I used to write core code for machine learning. Right now, if I do that, nobody is going to basically hire me, because for everything there is a software, like there is a library. Who is going to spend 10 days just to write, a simple or a machine learning algorithm? Because that's already available in the library part, right? So this is how it's going to evolve. So
I was just going through, since a lot of people are asking about the transition, the kind of threat that they feel is there in the market. There is a sense of insecurity also amongst the developer community, how things will actually foray for them. And while I was doing my bit of research, one of the companies there out there, they bet that. So, for example, ServiceNow, I was just reading about them, and they just said that by adopting artificial intelligence in their workplace, they were able to let their employees, the entire workforce, multiply their work and tasks 85 times better, right? So it's here to give you a substantiation and help you with what you're doing. Of course, at some point in time, your old skills will become obsolete, and all of us know that. And it's not just with tech; it's not just with particular profile. It's almost everywhere as the market dynamics are changing, right? So this transitioning, as our leaders mentioned, is important from that perspective, to have an understanding of what's going in the market, and of course understanding the market demand, right? Understanding the business demands, understanding the market demands, and how things are faring out. And of course, all of us are here, and none of us were born in the era of AI. We are still learning, and every day is a new learning for all of us. Be it me, who try to understand what the technology is all about, or our expert who are actually the decision makers in their organization to take a call on to how exactly things should be in their companies, from the operational perspective, from the profit perspective, from the revenue perspective, and from the business perspective, let's just say. So I think I had a wonderful time. Had another question, which was, of course, from this transitioning perspective. I think we can give it that a skip. But I thoroughly enjoyed. In the interest of time, I think I should not take much of your time. And to be honest, it was a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And the way we started, right from understanding the concept to knowing the market. Positioning, the market style of how things are faring out, to the skills, to understanding the entire synergy of cloud and AI, and of course, Sanjeev concluding with the kind of career advancement and opportunities that AI will bring. I think it is a fantastic discussion. I am sure our audience would have taken a lot of good takeaways from their career perspective here. Jai Kishore, Jai Chandran, Sanjeev, Amit, Ramesh, thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of this discussion and helping our audience understand the market better for 2024 and beyond.
Thank you, and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Help us.
Thanks.
Best.
Thank you so much.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
thank you so much. Bye bye.